Hi guys, it's Melissa once again. Welcome to the Rainbow in Bloom channel. If you're new here, the Rainbow in Bloom channel is about living and thriving with autoimmune disease, specifically the disease known as scleroderma, which is an illness that causes overproduction of collagen in the body, most visibly on the skin, but also for a lot of us internal organs. I apologize if you can hear the fan. I'm in the tropics and it's hot. It's still hurricane season, but it's still hot. And so I pushed it further away so hopefully you can actually hear me. And I'm on a main road. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please hit the like button to help me out. And yes, if you also are on Facebook, you can find me at Rainbow and Bloom on Facebook. So like, subscribe, share, follow on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram at Rainbow and Bloom. And I kind of took a step back, I relocated and everything, and I took a step back, but gonna gear up again. So thank you for watching. So one of the things that is really important right now, everybody's thinking about their health, how to stay healthy, right? Now with an autoimmune disease, that's always the case. You constantly have to think about how to stay healthy, how to regain as much of your health as possible. And the other thing that we're all thinking about right now is how to find whole foods that are healthy. We don't want GMOs, we don't want chemicals that they spray on the food, pesticides and herbicides and all that. We want fresh from nature foods. And we want foods that are healing, right? We want to eat medicines, because food is a medicine. We want to know what foods to eat to maintain our health or to return us back to health. Now, with an issue like scleroderma or any autoimmune disease, I do believe you should take medication, but it can be enhanced with natural remedies. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you today about. 5 natural remedies for the 5 worst symptoms. Most prevalent, most common symptoms when you have scleroderma. Now, the main thing that causes illness in the body is inflammation. Too much inflammation over a long period of time that goes unaddressed. That will cause disease. And so with autoimmune disease, scleroderma in particular, because that's what I was diagnosed with, scleroderma with lupus overlap, inflammation is very obvious at the very beginning. Now, inflammation happens within our body, and when it's expressed externally, we call it swelling. So I'm going to talk to you about the 5, which are inflammation, fatigue. Oh, here's my list. Inflammation, pain and stiffness, mental fog and fatigue, respiratory ailments, and GI problems, gastrointestinal problems, so like reflux and indigestion. These 5 remedies, which are herbs, they either can address all of them or certain ones. So so not everything. But they're potent and they're very valuable to have in your arsenal of natural remedies for natural healing or natural treatment of illnesses. And I'm going to leave a link to the book that I got this from. And so you can check it out, because it's like 300 pages, and it covers flowers, it covers vegetables, herbs, you name it. It covers a whole spectrum and things from around the world. So, the first natural remedy, Solomon seal. Now, Solomon seal is good for inflammation, repairs tissue, respiratory issues, detoxification of the body. So if you have swelling, that could help you a lot. I did stuff to detox when in my early days with this illness. It's a mild sedative. tissue healing. It's in the asparagus family. And how you can eat it. So you can, the shoots are eaten cooked as a vegetable. The rhizomes, which is the sort of the roots that grows horizontally under the surface of the soil, it can be eaten cooked after soaking in water to remove bitterness, and it can be fried and powdered for flour for bread. And you can make a poultice with it, a salve, a tea, or a tincture to use it either externally or internally to help your body. So look up Solomon's Seal when you get the book, if you get the book, which you should. Also, if I'll leave links to these so you can just take a look, and if you want to try them out immediately. The second one is, I love saying this word, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is from the Ayurvedic tradition of India. Really powerful. Inflammation, concentration, right? Depression, anxiety. We have all those problems with this. Cortisol reduction, and that's another thing that leads to illness. Heightened cortisol. Cortisol is the fight or flight, what do you call it, in the body, an element in the body. And so when it's heightened, it causes all kinds of problems with our health. And so that's another one you want to keep down. You want to manage stress and keep down the cortisol, because it triggers a lot of responses, including autoimmunity. Ashwagandha helps with cancers, a memory and brain cell degeneration. It can help to minimize that. It helps with endurance, muscle pain, and performance. And this is a big issue when you have a sedentary lifestyle like you do when you have a severe illness like this and you can't move around as much. You have mobility issues, and so your muscles aren't working out, and you start wasting. And that's something I talked about in a previous video. You start wasting, and in my case, I've gotten very skinny. I've gotten really skinny. You just lose that muscle mass, and it looks like you're losing weight, but you're actually losing muscle, and that's not good. So it helps with that. Ashwagandha is in the nightshade family, and it's an adaptogenic drug, which I'll get to later, probably. Holy basil is a third. Holy basil. Oh, I should tell you what ashwagandha, how you can take it. You can eat the seeds. The seeds are used for vegetarian cheeses, and you can make tea with the leaves. For medical use, root extracts can be powdered or capsule. And it's used in making drinks, different types of drinks. And the leaves you can use for extracts or tinctures. And it's safe to be taken long term, ashwagandha. Alright, so the third is holy basil. And holy basil is good for inflammation, it's good with infections, it's good for heart health and stress. That also relates to cortisol. Cancer is good for detox, and especially the kidney stones. It's good for pain, it's good for depression and anxiety, once again. Stress, physical, mental, and emotional stress, it helps you to regulate that. It helps with digestion, reducing acid in the stomach, so that's where our reflux comes from. And you can eat the whole plant for peptic ulcers, diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Or you can make a tea with it, 2 to 3 teaspoons of dried leaves with 1 cup of boiling water. So that is holy basil. Now the number 4, juniper. And juniper is good for heartburn. It's a diuretic. It's antibacterial and antifungal, which is great and internally. So if you get those ulcers on your fingers, they start to turn green and yellow, it's because you have like a bit of an infection. Could help you with that and other infections that you have because of the stuff going on with your skin and your tissues getting so tight and everything. skin infections. It helps with edema. And so like I was saying, when we have inflammation, many of us, this happened to me, when you first start to get sick, you notice that you have extreme swelling in your lower extremities. And it causes pitting edema. So pitting edema is when you push your finger or something into that swollen flesh, and the indentation from your finger stays. That's pitting edema. And in my early days, I had extreme swelling in the lower extremities. So from my knees down, my ankles. If you read my book, How Death Saved My Life, available on Amazon, I talk about that, the beginning years, and how I couldn't wear shoes for a while because my feet and my ankles were so swollen I couldn't get my feet in shoes. So that's edema, and Juniper helps with edema. And inflammation, of course, and as well as respiratory issues. And it can be eaten, either the berries can be eaten. The berries are used to flavor meats and in sauces, so you don't eat the berries. Medical use is flavoring, infusion, and the needles are medical. So you can do some research on Juniper. You can start with this book. Number 5 is rosemary. Rosemary is pretty common. We've all had rosemary. You have it in your meat. You know, they serve it in restaurants and meat. It's all fancy. It smells good. It tastes good. You can find rosemary in, fragrances and things like that. So very popular. But it is also edible. I mean, for medical purposes, you can use it. So it's good for digestion. It's good for concentration and memory, circulation, and headaches. So several of these: rosemary and which one else? Ashwagandha, and I think also holy basil. Well, at least ashwagandha and juniper help with not juniper, rosemary. Looking at my nose, help with concentration, memory, mental function. So I know that if you've been living with scleroderma for a couple of years or something, you might be dealing with mental fog, and so these will help you with the mental fog. And circulation becomes a problem. That's why we have Raynaud's and the one in the feet. I need some rosemary, right? I need some ashwagandha right now. But we have issues with circulation, so it helps with that. And so inflammation is also antifungal and antibacterial. Helps with cancer, and it helps with hair loss. Now, when I was midway through the process of this scleroderma thing, after I had been diagnosed with lupus as well, I did start to lose my hair. My hair is still pretty thin. The cancer and the chemo did not help as far as the hair situation. My edges are they are coming back. I just cut my hair off. I'm going to do a video on why I cut my hair. But I just cut my hair, and it's actually grown in a lot because I was all the way down. Woo! Scared me. So, yeah. So it helps with hair loss. And so you eat rosemary, leaves and flower petals in your food. So that's pretty simple. So under inflammation, I have ashwagandha, holy basil, juniper, rosemary, and Solomon seal. Under digestion, holy basil and rosemary. For pain, holy basil and ashwagandha. Respiratory ailments, holy basil, juniper, and Solomon seal. And anxiety, ashwagandha, holy basil. And I'm going to put, what else? I feel like there's more than those two for anxiety. But Solomon seal is a mild sedative. So, holy basil, ashwagandha, and maybe a Solomon seal also. So all of these are safe, but you obviously, because it's food, but you might, I don't know if you could have an allergy to any of these. Talk to your doctor, and because maybe there could be some interactions that are not good, I don't know. But so that's it for now. I have like 30 more seconds on this phone, the space I have to finish this video. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I'm going to put the link for the Lost Book of Home Remedies at the bottom, and link to my book, How Death Saved My Life, in case you haven't read it yet. And following me on Facebook. What is it called? Rainbow and Bloom. I'm going to get some ashwagandha. Alright, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.